All right, well, we came to Kansas. It's October 21st, I believe. Isn't it? It's 22nd. It's October 22nd, and I'm with my friend Jeremy Smidler out here in western Kansas. But not much going on at home right now, so we figured we'd give our luck out here for a couple of days before we go back. But just sitting on the river in between some bedding areas. We're gonna make some noise here a little bit later, but let things settle in, see what comes by us. There's a bunch of big 8s in here, a couple 10s, a couple giants. So we're gonna take the first good mature deer that comes in. So we got about 3 days to get it done. Hopefully we can get something in front of us.
So I grew up in central Missouri. That's where I do a lot of my hunting. It's really where I kind of cut my teeth in hunting. And I got to go out to western Kansas and hunt with Jeremy probably 5 years ago. And it was a really eye-opening experience for me. Just a ton of deer on their feet in the daylight. Really a no-brainer situation on where to set up because there's just one river that runs through that's probably 60 yards wide. These bucks are using that funnel in the rut. You're seeing 20, 30 bucks a day. All in daylight, all daylight movement, which was something that in Missouri just doesn't happen.
See like that 8 with the plated G2, so I know we can kill him, you know what I mean? What's that the second one? No, he wasn't here.
Like everybody else, I run trail cameras year round, inventory the deer, name the deer. By the time that we're hunting a certain deer and usually killing them, I've got 3 to 4 years of history on them deer and know them extremely well. So, you know, obviously we're trying to target 5.5, 6.5-year-old deer, take out a few calls, and manage the property as best we can. So in the process of looking at all these trail camera pictures, we're sizing these deer up, hunting age. I can't stress the importance of just hunting age. And ran across this old buck named Blade, and the deer's just tapped out. He is what he is. He's a 130-inch 8-point, but a very nice deer, trophy in most areas, a call on my place. And so I've got Blake coming in. We're putting him on this deer, trying to get this deer out of the deer pool.
Full Draw Adventures is brought to you by Sonoran Desert Institute. Turn your passion into a career and arm yourself with an education. Sitka, turning clothing into gear. Dead Center Archery Products, American-made precision-engineered stabilization solutions. And Shine's Scents, make a deer's nose his worst enemy.
Today's Sitka tip of the week is on blind bell and close shooting. This is all about the repetition of making a good shot and the subconscious branding of a good shot. A good comparison to this would be hitting a ball off of a tee, a baseball or a softball. You know, you don't have to worry about whether or not you're gonna hit it. It's sitting right in front of you, and all you have to do is work on your form and your follow through and your execution of the shot. And that is exactly what blind bail or close bail shooting is about. You're working the shot. You don't have the fear or the worry of missing or not being able to aim well because your bow is sitting really, really still at this distance. This allows your mind to focus on shot, release, follow through, and finish. And all those things are things when you're not thinking about where you're hitting that your mind calculates and actually subconsciously it brands your mind.
We're hunting Missouri in rifle season. We end up leaving. Robbie's tagged out, and he had some time. I've got a Kansas tag still, so we got hold of Jeremy, and he said, "Come up, got 3 days, see if we can get it done." There's probably 4 or 5 different shooters in this piece that we're hunting. A couple good 8s, a couple good 10s. So we're gonna see what comes through. From what Jeremy says, rut's still going good. Today is the 19th, I believe. So he's been seeing a lot of bucks midday. We haven't seen anything this morning yet, but that's pretty normal for where we are. We're just way back in, next to a bedding area along the river, so it takes them a while to get to us. But Robbie and I drove all night, got here about 2:30, went to bed for 2 hours, got up, came to the tree, so hopefully it pays off. We'll see what happens.
So when day 2 came around, we really changed kind of our direction. We had Blade was on the other end of the farm, and he was really what we were going to target the next 2 days we were there. Jeremy had noticed that when he would show up in daylight on camera, it was every day that he would come in and feed with the side-by-side. So we got together a plan that we were going to take the side-by-side in, hang a double set so the cameraman had a stand, and then drive the side-by-side out, and I was going to sneak back into the tree, and hopefully that would make him daylight. So after we get everything set up and I get back to the stand, I get up in the tree, hook my safety harness in, and I look, and Blade's literally laying probably 150 yards away in a draw with a doe locked down. So we had to watch this buck for 4.5 hours, and he would get up and he'd push other bucks off and just kind of mill around there with her. And we were hoping that that doe would get up and come our direction, but as it usually happens, she turned around and went the other way. So day 3 rolls around. We know that morning we have the same wind that we had the evening before, so we're gonna go back in that stand and hopefully catch him on his feet. As he gets light, I catch him moving over to the right and look down the draw, and it's Blade. He's bumping another doe around with 2 other bucks. They slowly kind of work around, just chase each other around out in the open, and all of a sudden they start heading our direction.
He's in the woods, right in front of you.
He's coming down a trail that's 40 yards. I have one clump of trees in front of me that I'm going to draw on him, and then as soon as he steps out, I'll be able to take the 40-yard shot. So I'm standing there at full draw, thinking that if he goes right or if he goes left, I'm gonna have a shot at him. And what's he do? He turns around and walks straight away, offering no shot, and walks out of my life.
All I can say is that I'm cursed not to kill a deer. There's no reason that deer blew. He didn't see anything. Didn't smell anything. He just was a sixth sense, I guess, not to die.
Full Draw Adventures is brought to you by True Ball Archery, the real #1. Anyone can claim it, we can prove it. Axel Sights and Scopes, leading technology, proven results. Black Eagle Arrows, the best precision carbon arrows. Ozonics, undetectable, undeniable. And SWAT Broadheads, drain your game.
We had a great encounter with Blade this morning, and we got out of there about noon. Came to a completely different farm down here. Jeremy says there's a bunch of deer in here too to kill, so we're just gonna wait for the first mature one. We've only got tomorrow left, so first mature deer that comes by that we can kill, we're gonna go after him. So we'll see. We're gonna let Blades draw, just kind of rest, and hopefully tomorrow morning we have a win for it, so hopefully we can get back in there tomorrow morning, maybe have another encounter. We've been in there twice and seen him both times within 100, so I don't know, we'll see what shows up here. Maybe we'll get this tag filled, maybe we won't, but we're having fun doing it at least, so riding it, see what shows up.
So we sat for a couple other hours and really didn't have anything come through. We got out of the tree and started heading back, and noticed that there was a deer standing out in the wide open, just kind of head down, ears back, just looked really odd. So we started getting a little bit closer and trying to figure out what was going on. So as we got closer to the buck, we realized that he had an injury, that he was probably going to die. The way he was acting, he was either going to starve or the coyotes were going to get on him. After talking to Jeremy, we decided that ultimately the right decision was to go ahead and take this deer and put our tag on him.
So we were on our way out of the stand this morning. We found this buck out in the open, and he looks like I think he got gored. I don't know, his eye on his left side's all jacked up. But he was just standing out here in the wide open. So we just got on the bad eye side of him. He came down. I mean, it's not the way I wanted to film my Kansas tag, but you see a deer like that, you got to put him down. So he's a good deer, just don't know him. Standing out here in the wide open, we're just walking back. So, I don't know. We're gonna go check him out though. He's down at least and out of his misery, so that's a good thing, right? We got a Kansas tag filled. All right, so we got this guy recovered. We saw him go down, but yeah, walking back and he got this big eye injury you can see here. Probably got horned in the eye a couple days ago, maybe more than that. Looks like he got infected, and it was just out here standing in the wide open. And man, it's our job to put these animals down in a humane way. We'd have left him alone, he either would have starved to death or the coyotes would have got on him, and it would have been an ugly death. So got him put down, got the Kansas tag filled, and we'll be back in the truck and on the way to Missouri. Man, we had a great hunt. We were only here 3 days and seen a shooter every day and finally got it done. So wasn't the way we wanted to, but it is definitely something that'll go on the wall and be a memory.
This segment brought to you by Matthews Archery. The Suspense Bow Case from Elevation, a revolutionary bow case featuring two-piece design, suspension hooks, field mat, accessory components, and garment storage. Elevation. Above standard is our standard.
It's November 16th, and I got in a little late, about 3 o'clock. I've already had 3 bucks go by. It's about 4:30 now. So the rut's on. It's a lot of fun. There's been 3-4 different shooters in the area, so I don't know. I seen an old 7-year-old this morning that I'd probably take. A buck named Blackface. But anyway, there's several good bucks. They're cruising. You never know. It's actually warmed up. It was snow early in the week. Had 20-degree weather. Now it's probably 55 degrees today. So it's going to get interesting, I hope.
Sometimes I take a camera in the tree, sometimes I don't. Filming's kind of a convenience for me, so this day I happen to take the camera. The wind's blowing 40, 45 miles an hour, but it's set to calm down about 4 o'clock. And it's probably 3 o'clock, 3:30, something like that in the afternoon, and here comes Blade. The tree's swaying back and forth. I got the fluid head locked up because the wind was blowing the camera over. The table's set for a perfect self-filming train wreck, and that's what you're about ready to see here. So in the midst of all the commotion, I go ahead and I obviously shoot the deer. He runs off, and I'm a bit upset for several reasons. One, because I don't have him on film. I thought I made a bad shot too, thought I hit him high. I ended up calling a bunch of buddies, got a tracking team together. We found the arrow, and it didn't take long to realize that I'd actually had some bubbles in the blood, so my shot was better than I thought. I'm really pleased that we found him here. Big kangaroo circus trying to self-film. What looked like a textbook self-filming job turned into a nightmare pretty quick when he walked through my shooting lane, and I couldn't stop him. So I shot him on the run, aimed for his front shoulder, which I let him, and that got my shot placement about right. However, I was really distraught for a little bit because I thought I hit him too high. And my initial was I backstrapped him until I found my arrow. It was soaked in good blood and had bubbles on it, and I had some definite lung blood, but just an absolute stud of a whitetail. This deer, I've got about 3 to 4 years history on him. He is the oldest deer on this property over here. He's been running everything else off. Blake Garrett was just in town and gave him a run for a couple days and had him dead to rights, 2 steps away in bow range, and just the sixth sense of an old whitetail, he turned around and caught their wind or something. I can't remember what happened, but anyway, I'm really pleased with this guy. Big old mature deer, so this is why we do it. Just